Čau, vítaj na livestreame občianskeho združenia VIVA, Centrum umenia. V apríli sme tu mali v rámci MASTERCLASS 4 tanečného pedagóga, performera a bývalého tanečníka VIVA Dance Company Eldada Ben Sassona. Tento projekt z verejných zdrojov podporil Fond na podporu umenia a v rámci tejto príležitosti sme mali možnosť ho aj vyspovedať. Pozeraj.
Ahojte, vítajte v priestoroch VIVA Centrum umenia, ktoré zdieľame spolu s priestormi súkromného konzervatória na Zádielskej ulici 12 a súkromnej základnej umeleckej školy VIVA na Zádielskej 12 v Košiciach. Dovolte mi, aby som privítala v týchto priestoroch nášho hostia Eldada Ben Sassona, ktorý k nám prišiel v rámci workshopov MASTERCLASS 4, ktoré podporil Fond na podporu umenia. Autorkou tohto projektu som ja, Katarína Sninská, ale impuls pre vytvorenie tohto projektu bola Kika Šérová, bývalá študentka nášho konzervatória a zároveň aj študentka univerzity v Linci. Kika, ty si sa s Eldadom stretla práve na univerzite v Linci.
Presne tak, vďaka môjmu štúdiu tam som mala možnosť poznať Eldada. Mala som ako keby tie prvé skúsenosti s ním, zistila som jeho kvality, profesionalitu, prácu, ako tvorí, ako pracuje so študentmi. A počas toho som už rozmýšľala nad tým, aké by to bolo, keby mohol prísť do Košíc. Zároveň som začala učiť na tomto konzervatóriu, takže mi hneď napadlo, že ho oslovím, opýtam sa, či by mal tú chuť, šancu, možnosť prísť k nám, či je tam nejaká možná spolupráca, pozvať ho, ako by to mohlo fungovať a tak. A sme tu.
Áno, a ja som veľmi rada, pretože tento projekt bol písaný nielen samozrejme pre študentov nášho konzervatória, ale keďže je organizovaný občianskym združením VIVA Centrum umenia, tento projekt bol ponúknutý vlastne všetkým študentom slovenských konzervatórií a som veľmi rada, že na tomto projekte sa zúčastnili dokonca aj študenti z Janáčkova konzervatóř v Ostrave, takže som veľmi spokojná s účasťou na tomto projekte. A hlavne aj s obrovskými emóciami a pocitmi, ktoré títo študenti naši aj hostujúci mali. A tak Eldad, ako sa cítiš v Košiciach?
So how do you feel in this town, in Košice?
Very nice. It was a long journey to arrive, but it's very beautiful around. And I'm very happy to be in this institution, which has a very strong...
Veľmi sa nám páči tvoj štýl, ako pracuješ. Bolo ťažké si vybudovať svoj vlastný štýl?
Students are very excited about your classes, technical but also repertory. But you, as a traveling performer and guest teacher, was it difficult for you to build your own teaching methodology or your own path?
I'm a trained dancer from very early young, and I have a lot of different techniques and languages in my body. I was very privileged to work with really great choreographers and different artists that in the field of dance, and each one gave me an information that slowly became part of my own world of vocabulary. And about, I think around 10, a little bit more than 10 years ago, I started to establish a more clarity in my class. And I built based on my classical background, and in between the technical exercises, I put more information that can match what is happening today. And what happened that part of my exercises, the classical exercise, lost their form and become a bit more flexible in the way I share the information or I teach the information. So I can say that I have a very clear classical form, which I change it constantly in relation to where I arrive.
So you, as a former dancer in bigger companies such as VIVA or Vertigo, question would be if you see also potential in students that join master classes to do sort of a projects or join companies in this kind of way.
Very much so. I think the potential of the kids is great. There is a lot of knowledge in their bodies, so you see they have been receiving different different sources of information, so not necessarily the conventional way of looking at students. They are really versatile. They are very open-minded, and they're quite passionate. So it's very hard to stop a dancer that is that passionate.
When we interviewed before students, they were perceiving you really as a master, as a role model, and we would like to ask how you perceived your teachers when you were a student.
That's very nice what you said. Because I have a very soft place in me to the idea of the master in classes. It's very hard to find today in this time this idea of a master. Kids change too quickly. The loyalty for one person for a long one, it doesn't happen so much. I think it has to do in the way we were educated. We were educated to look on these teachers as masters. Now it's a little bit different. So when you say that they look at me like a master, I feel very nice. I feel very, very humbled by this message. I did have quite a few masters in my life. And when they enter to the space, they change your perspective, not just the knowledge, they change the way you perceive the information.
Part of a master class were technical classes, but also repertory. And as you danced this piece, Echad Mi Yodea, from your 17 years, how do you perceive it, or what it gave you as a dancer, and what it changed now when you teach it?
When I was a dance student, when I was very young, there was a piece by Batsheva called Anafaza. And we were taken as a group of young dancers to see Batsheva performance. And in the beginning of Anafaza, it's this chair dance. That's the first image you see. And it's a very traditional song. It's a Passover traditional song. So you've been hearing this song all your life. And it has a lot of this tribal holiday, family, big gathering. So there is a lot of history to this song. And when you see it, you know the song, you know the rhythm, but suddenly with this kind of concept of movement and the singing and this passion, and they start with one suit and they finish with almost nothing on them, so exposed. It's a memory that it's printed in my head. And part of me was like, I will do this someday. And when I joined the Batsheva Dance Company, that was my first dance item, first thing ever. That was my first, and I was the last one, the one that falls in the end. So basically for 8 years I was falling. But I remember that I studied so quickly, because it was already in my head, I was already very informed, I was very excited about it. And this world that it opened up, it's enriched my imagination, my musicality, my physicality, and it's really printed as one of the most significant dance pieces that have changed my perspective in what does it mean to explode, express, desire, passion, movement, singing, classical, connection, tribal, so many things inside. So after performing it for many, many years and then teaching it for many, many years, and Ohad constantly changing and reshaping some movement with inside. So you have to stay awake, you have to stay very much aware of the information. But each time I do it, and each time I dance it, I feel like the first time. And I want to also make it even better. So I don't know how many hundreds of times I've done it. I still try to make it better, to try to find another release of that muscle, maybe extend here, maybe more. So it doesn't end. There's a lot of freedom within the movement, but it's a very clear direction of intention that you discover while doing it. And when you build this group sensation, it's such a strong tribal motion that you feel the audience. You really, and especially because I'm the one that falls, so I see everyone, and I also feel the audience very much. And well, I'm getting chills. But it's really, really a powerful moment to dance, to teach, to see people also experience it. And what's amazing that you teach it once or twice, and it's a difficult thing to do. They want to do more, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. They want to do it till they die. And I think that's pretty much says everything about this piece. It's something that you always want to do, you always want to describe. And can we do one more time? And I'm like, you did 4 times? One more time. And yeah, it's a very powerful moment to discover,
Okay, so Eldad, thank you very much.
Oh, with the pleasure.
Yeah,
With the pleasure.
za rozhovor, thank you.
And I want to say one more thing. I want to say thank you to Kika, because she's one of the main reasons I'm here. And when I travel the world and I go through different universities, it's very nice to see an inspiration. And when you find out where the inspiration came from, suddenly you see a wider picture why you felt what you felt. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Tak, ďakujeme všetkým. Čaute.